Whoa! That might be a little bit of an overreaction.
The die-hard NBA fans may think they know all the rules of the game. Of course, even the most popular professional sports played around the world come with a laundry list of rules and regulations. When it comes to the NBA, there are definitely a few unheard of rules that may have you scratching your head. This is our breakdown of some odd NBA rules you didn't know existed.
Do you want to win any of these items on your screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right into the video.
Number 10. 10-second violation.
He scored all 20,000 with Boston. Oh, Bob Delaney calling a 10-second violation.
This rule is not the amount of time players have to get across half court, which was changed to 8, but rather the amount of time a player can take to do their free throw routine and shoot. Maybe one of the most known rules on this list, but it is violated sparingly. Karl Malone became famous for taking forever to put up his shot from the charity stripe, so much so that opposing crowds would assist the referee and count to 10 during the attempt. The most notable player in this day and age to struggle with this is Dwight Howard, who routinely had close calls getting up his shot within 10 seconds. It doesn't look like the extra time helped his free throw shot at all, as he struggled throughout his career. MVP candidate Giannis was the last player to be called for this violation in 2016, and has since shortened his routine after a phone call from the NBA. Number 9. Road team chooses the opening basket.
He knows that bench. He's looking directly at that bench. Look at him.
The jump ball is the obvious start to a basketball game, but there is something vital that happens before the opening tip. Teams need to figure out which basket they will be starting at, and it is the visiting team's decision that sets the tone for the rest of the game. Now, this normally occurs before any television coverage of the game during pre-game shoot-around. This seems unimportant, but there is a small amount of strategy that comes into play with this choice. Would coaches rather have their players go towards their bench so players can hear them clearly at the start of the game and set the tone, or rather opt to have players be near them for late game instructions? Seems like most coaches choose to have players go towards the opposing bench at the start of the game in order to relay information easier during crunch time. Number 8. No double zeros.
What a pass by Owundu, and AG working the baseline. Just gonna 360 this thing.
There are very little restrictions on what type of numbers players can wear, as long as someone else on the team does not have the same number and the number is not retired by a former player. Well, it's usually fair game. This is unlike the NCAA, where players are not allowed to choose 6, 7, 8, or 9 as their number. There is one case where a player cannot wear a certain number, and that concerns the number 0. A player can wear the number 0 or rock the 00 on his jersey, but teammates cannot have both numbers on the same team. This is due to the likelihood of a scorekeeper or referee making an error concerning one of those players. Imagine a player getting called for a foul in a crucial part of the game and the referee signaling the wrong number, or a scorekeeper making an error earlier in the game and not recording the correct amount of fouls or stats. Number 7. No logos except for shoes.
Respecting tradition, driving performance, and celebrating style.
As branding in the NBA has exploded since the height of Michael Jordan's deal with Nike, no rules have been put in place to stop excessive branding on the court. That being said, these rules are slowly changing back as the power of advertisers are working their way into the game. The NBA is changing their stance on logos more recently, allowing advertisers to have logos on the jerseys of players. Players, on the other hand, cannot endorse a brand or logo on any part of their clothing, or in Iman Shumpert's case, his hair. In 2013, Shumpert was attempting to sport the Adidas logo shaved into his head, but was told by the NBA that it had to be removed. The next day, Shumpert posted a photo of the logo completely shaven off his hair, leaving a huge bald triangle spot instead. Item 5 of Section 8 of the NBA Rules Book Extended Comment Section, which governs player team conduct and dress, reads, "The only article bearing a commercial logo, which can be worn by players, is their shoes." Years later, Shumpert was let go by the Adidas brand anyways. Number 6, no shatter rule.
Hey, George with the hard drive to Moore. Oh, no!
During a match, if a player dunks so hard that they shatter the backboard, the point is not counted, and the player in question receives a technical foul. Never mind that he or she didn't intend on breaking the board. The reason being is that the league considers shattering a backboard during a game to be a non-unsportsmanlike technical foul. The NBA has gone so far to protect their backboards that it's not even possible for a fine to be applied towards the player. The player may not be ejected, nor shall the foul count towards a player's total towards either ejection or suspension. Many people forget that many televised rules come with a whole bunch of rules that are similar to any on-air broadcaster. Shattering a backboard is no different. Number 5. Long free throws are a no-no.
Jackie Moon holding the fate of Flint in his fingertips. He kisses the ball for good luck.
Sweet sugar.
Most coaches tell their players to take their time on a free throw to really get into the zone before making the shot. Well, you have to learn to get in the zone quickly if you want to avoid committing a foul. NBA star Dwight Howard has been penalized before for taking too long during a free throw, and you'll be penalized too if you take longer than 10 seconds at the foul line. So all those movie moments where the star's warming up to take a big shot, running a playback of mentor wisdom through their heads, yeah, that is all fake. You probably don't have as much time as you think. Of course, that doesn't make one of the highest pressure parts of the game any easier. Number 4, NBA owners can't be business partners.
Drum roll, please. Dun, 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 dun.
NBA players are quite wealthy, and many choose to invest a part of their wealth in another sports franchise. However, when Kevin Garnett chose to invest in AS Roma, the football club, he wasn't allowed to. Many were shocked, especially Kevin Garnett. So how is that even possible? He wasn't allowed to because the principal owner of AS Roma also owns a part of the Boston Celtics. Now, this is a very strange rule, and I doubt the referee ever calls a foul for it during the game. Of course, the NBA business side of things is very serious about making sure there are no conflicts of interest. Despite the fact that these are totally different sports on either side of the world, many were concerned it would allow the business owners to leverage more power over how the game is played. Number 3, timeouts are a must.
Andre Miller does it. He fakes the timeout and scores. The Hornets were already to the huddle.
This one's pretty strange and one most wouldn't expect. During NBA games, each team receives a total of 6 timeouts that they can use anywhere in the middle of a game. However, there is a catch. There is a rule stating that teams must use 4 of these 6 timeouts, and they must save at least 1 timeout for the 4th quarter. If they don't, the referee will call for a timeout and the team receives a technical foul. This rule has been kept in place so that TV networks airing the game can use the break to air commercials. As was said earlier, this is another rule that only exists purely for the sake of televising the game. In other basketball leagues around the world, or even at a more amateur level, that rule does not exist. Number 2, jump ball must be on the right side.
And the crowd loves it. Yeah, they're into it. Smiling.
During the jump ball, players must ensure that they are lined up on the correct side of the court, facing the basket that they are shooting into. If the players are not lined up correctly when the game begins, the referee can call a foul within 24 seconds, after which the game must be restarted. But if the referee happens to miss out on the player's positioning or doesn't call the foul within 24 seconds, the game continues. This is one of those standardized rules that people wouldn't think much about, but it's pretty important to keep the game fair. Rules like these have slowly developed over the years as team coaches have tried to get more and more tricky with different plays. While there isn't a history of taking advantage of this loophole before the rule existed, many in charge at the NBA felt it needed to be put into place as team strategies began getting more and more advanced. Number 1, 6th man rule.
In basketball, you can't have 6 men on the court. You can only have 5.
Back in the day, there was a rule in the NBA that allowed a player to field 6 players instead of the usual 5. Of course, teams had to be very discreet about it and would only send the 6th man onto the court if the referee was being inattentive. If the referee didn't notice the sixth man before the team scored, the points would count. That being said, in the entire league's history, there has never been an account of this being used before.
A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.
These are just some of the rules in the hundreds of pages long manual that everyone from players to owners must read on NBA regulations. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new content. This has been 10 odd NBA rules you didn't know existed. See you next time.